What I want to know is, how was the goal ever to lower prices when Walmart is increasing theirs? We decided to raise tariffs in other countries, then they decided to raise tariffs on us. Now stores like Walmart can't even cover the cost. Now we paying more than what we was paying before?
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
If y'all didn't know and didn't see, UPS and Amazon is finna lay off over 20,000 people. 20,000 people. So that means everybody is literally finna be applying. Everybody is finna be literally applying for the same job. So that means if you apply for something, it's about a few more people that's applying for another job. When I tell y'all the ones that voted that orange man in office, okay? Not me. Y'all did that. And now y'all see the outcome of it. It's so terrible right now because we're finna hit a super big recession. Like, I'm telling you, $15 for people, if it's not more than $25 an hour, if you don't have a degree, none of those things, it's really not gonna matter. You're gonna have to get in where you fit, and that means getting any job that they have. And it got so bad, but y'all should have thought about this before y'all voted.
Let's keep it real. The economy has collapsed because of most of us. And look, I'm not trying to put anybody down here, but I'm just keeping it 100. The economy has collapsed because of most of our decision making. And it just hurts to say. But until we keep it 100, we're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to continue to be stagnant. But if we truly realize why the economy's collapsed, we can move past it and go forward. But because of the decision making of most of us, my generation, Gen Z, we're cooked. But because of us, we can't afford gas, we can't afford groceries, we can barely afford to go to school. Car payments are ridiculous, the housing market's atrocious, we can't afford to go out with our friends and family. That's just the facts. The people that can actually afford all those stuff on a weekly basis, they're in the minority. But if we all actually take accountability, we can achieve greater outcomes.
I had a valuable argument with my mother today, who has a PhD in organizational business and management. And I wanted to get somebody's take on it, or at least share it. I'm an artificial intelligence engineer, and I work with businesses specifically. I've been in the industry over like 15 years at this point. What that means is I help businesses learn how to use the latest technology from the field and be able to put it together for their company. That being said, I've come across quite a few ideas lately that I really wanted to share with the public and try to make people more aware of like what Silicon Valley and associates that I work with are game planning for. The idea about jobs being displaced, jobs being taken, people being displaced, such an interesting topic, and it's going to come with a lot more debates, but I wanted to kind of stir the pot here and get you thinking for yourself. So right now the argument is that the models, aka the underlying technology of artificial intelligence, is going to be eventually capable of assuming responsibility for human-like jobs. So there are people who have jobs today, mostly white-collar jobs. So you sit in an office, or you have a job that's based on a computer mostly, right? So almost all your tasks, if not all of them, are associated with being on the computer and carrying out either networking or responsibilities there. And so that's kind of the crowd that I'm talking here. I do want to address, though, that if you're a blue-collar worker, robotics and artificial intelligence are two fields that are marrying themselves and getting a lot more advanced. So I actually work with a manufacturer who is largely interested in seeing robotics become a thing in the warehouse and having people working those together. And so I think this is like a good, interesting topic for everyone, no matter where you work. So my mom has the notion that people need to be respected in terms of how they're being, their experience and what they bring to the table, what they bring to the job. I am an economist by trade, also a software engineer. So I am fortunately suffer from kind of the conservative, traditional mindset when it comes to looking at these numbers and kind of seeing how they're going to play out. So for me, that means that over time, people are going to be largely displaced, in my opinion, by these jobs being eliminated or just assumed by artificial intelligence. Now, there are creators I can reference and probably tag and just try to get people to follow them as well. But hopefully I can help make this an even playing field. So it's not like a tech person telling you. This is more like just a person who works at the company coming to you, talking to you about what's happening. So that being said, the implementation of these models being taken on, these jobs will displace, right? And I'm saying that because the models have advanced tremendously in terms of their autonomy, aka what they can do by themselves. how they listen to rules, and how what they called hallucinations have been eliminated from some of these models. So the efficiency, effectiveness, the rate at which we measure if these things can do my job, you do your job, it has risen dramatically in the last couple of months, and if not years, just since ChatGPT has come out. There'll be big names, people who drop technology, and it kind of becomes bigger. And so who has the best technology will kind of determine whether or not you'll shop with them. But my understanding and my true belief of how these things are taking over is that they're going to be faster, they're going to be cheaper, they're going to be better than human labor. So what you cost, what I cost an hour to a company, to a business, to whatever, will become a competitive price against these bots. So your boss, manager, whatever, who's kind of making these decisions will be able to literally look at, do we just have either a consultant implement an AI bot, or is there an out-of-box solution that can just take over the job, or do we continue to work with humans in this particular role? I truly believe there's going to be a period of time where people are like struggling with that. My mother's opinion, who's much more educated than me, believes that people will innately choose to keep these jobs around because having a job is important to people, to me, to you, to society. It drives value. People find their personal value in their job. They're able to tie together identities from their job and what they contribute to society. My argument, a little bit different than that. I am on the side of the fence that says I don't think most of the people who own the resources, who own the tech, who own what will be considered the rich class as this gets rolled out, I don't think they care. I don't think they fundamentally care about whether or not these things will take away what people say is a desire for them to work. And that's because I think rich people don't see work as the same, value or identity creating part of your life. I do believe that people who are in the category of ownership or rich people who are trying to implement these things out in the world are going to really just look at like the value that's created from having an AI bot that can do your job, my job, and then saving money, right? So if your job, it takes up about $80,000 a year, plus whatever other benefits that come with it, plus the fact that you're a human being. So you do get tired, you do need sleep, you do want the weekends off, you do want vacation, and some days you're not going to be operating as like 100% of who you are. Robots don't have that problem. Yeah. So robots are able to literally take what they need to do and just keep doing it until they break down. So this is a concept that I wanted to continue. This is my addressing post-labor economics. There are many people in the field who are just continuing to run with it and they love the conversation. I'm one of the staunch opponents of allowing AI to just run free and allow it to start be implemented by organizations without a better plan. I think there obviously needs to be a better plan, a regulatory system in place to guide the decisions about how these things can or will not impact people's careers. But of course, love to hear how you think. I'll just keep sharing my thoughts. But if you have a question, feel free to DM me, leave a comment, or definitely hit that follow button.
AI is the next big thing. It is like the internet back in the early 2000s. It's exactly like that. It'll be huge, and it is currently impacting people's lives and people's jobs. There must be regulations when it comes to AI, or else we will be in serious trouble. And the main reason for that is the misuse of AI. AI is only as good as the people who control it. And the people who control it are very rich, very powerful people. So there has to be a lot of regulations and laws around AI, or else we are cooked.
Top 3 ways that I know that we are in a recession. Number 1, I am getting companies calling me that I've done business with in the past that have never called me before. I am getting calls from my auto dealership trying to get me to come and bring in my car for service. I'm getting calls from contractors looking for work that have never called me before. They just assumed that I would send them business. I'm getting calls from so many different companies that are now looking for business, and they have never called me in the past. Number 2, we are seeing lower contractor bids. So when the contractors were just flush with work, they were giving us bids that were really, really high. And now we're seeing bids that are 20, 30% less than they were in the last 3 to 4 years. That is a huge deal. That means that labor prices are coming down. Even if product prices are going up, we're seeing labor prices coming down. Number 3, we're getting more calls from people who cannot afford their homes anymore. We are in Northern Virginia. we have always been considered a very stable market because of the government jobs. And of course, we all know what's going on there right now. And we are getting way more calls from people who cannot afford their houses. They can't afford it because taxes have gone up and they're losing their jobs, or they are being furloughed and they cannot afford to make their payments anymore. And that hasn't happened since 2018.
If I see one more well-meaning economist trying to explain that the economy is actually good through graphs, etc., I'm going to scream. The economy, yes, on paper it might be doing well. However, if you are someone who is in the workforce, as a lot of these people who are trying to make the argument that the economy objectively did better, and yeah, sure, yes, it did. I'm not trying to argue that. But a lot of the people who are seemingly confused by the sentiment from a lot of Americans that the economy has not been doing well recently are not people who are in the normal workforce. And if you are someone who is in the workforce right now, the economy does not feel great for you. Our wages are just not going up that much. A lot of people are getting laid off. And if you are so lucky to have a job, or even if you're getting promoted, the amount that you're getting paid comparatively to the cost of just life right now, these two things are not proportional. To use a personal example, when I first started to work in New York, the subway cost $2.50 to take one way. And then now, the same subway costs $2.90, right? My salary has not gone up proportional to how much it costs to take the subway. And you can apply this to a variety of goods and services that we come into contact with every day as consumers. So I'm just not understanding, as an economist, if someone's salary is not going up as fast as, let's say, the daily items or services that they use, then the perception is going to be that the economy isn't doing great. I'm not understanding why this appears to be rocket science for some people.
I don't think anyone actually knows what's happening in the economy right now. I get this negative reading, then I get this positive reading. It just keeps kind of going back and forth. Some people say we're headed for a huge recession and correction in housing price, and some people just say we have stagflation. But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone really knows. I get this view off my porch every single morning. Absolutely gorgeous. I have learned a lot through my journey of researching the economy and where the market's going, and just understanding a lot of things that I didn't really understand. I will say that what works for people in any kind of uncertainty or any kind of economic is saving your money, creating passive streams of income, and figuring out a way to own assets. Because if you're not figuring out a way to own real estate, whether the market's up or down, you're going to get blocked out, and the wealth gap's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But regardless, I think I want to change a lot of the content on my channel. I just don't seem to think that the economy stuff is really landing anymore, and nobody really knows anyway.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
The math ain't not mathing anymore in this economy. So I just got offered another job, and the pay is actually decent. It's well above minimum wage, but I have to travel, like commute there, about 30 minutes, 3 days a week, and that's one way, so really an hour. And with working another job and my self-employment, I still don't make enough. Like, how hard do I have to work? So my schedule is at my other job, which is about a minimum wage job. I work there Monday and Friday, full days, okay? So 8 to 5, 8-hour shift. This other job is paying me $18 an hour, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 5. But I have to commute there, so I have to counter for gas. I have a small sedan, so I can go 300 miles on the tank, so the gas isn't terrible, but it is going to be an extra expense for me. Now, I also teach music privately. That's a business that I established, and it doesn't cost much to run it. I just either teach over Zoom, or I go to people's homes, and bill them for the gas money to go there. I make around $300 to $400 a month doing that. Business has been slow with the economy tanking, understandably so. So I use that as my extra money. But even with all of that, just paying for gas, food, rent, basic expenses of living, nothing extra, it's like I have maybe $100 extra to save. Maybe. If I do everything right and nothing comes up, maybe I have $100 extra. But I mean, like, come on, like that's full-time work right there. That's not saving for retirement because they don't offer that. That's not saving an adequate amount. That's not countering for car repairs, car maintenance. But there's no more days in the week unless I get a job on Saturday and Sunday, which would mean I would work 7 days a week, which means I wouldn't be able to take care of myself. You know, like, I don't know a healthy person that can do that, but with all of my autoimmune and stuff, I need like a day. I need a day to recover so I can show up for the next work week. But like, what is going on? Don't tell me that Gen Z don't work hard, because I am working hard against all odds. I even have an injured knee and I'm on crutches and I'm still working all of these jobs. And I also do delivery driving with DoorDash and stuff in the evenings, you know, or on Sundays for extra money. Like, I don't know how to live like this.
You know what my biggest recession indicator is? The fact that I currently have $10 total to my name, and my combined household income is well over $100,000 a year, and I only have $10 to my name. I get paid in 2 days, thank God, but most of that paycheck is gonna go to pay off bills that I haven't been able to pay yet because I only have $10 to my name, and then there goes most of my paycheck. And I've worked like hell to get to the financial position that I'm in right now. I was raised by a single mom who made maybe $15,000 a year, so I know what it's like to be poor. And I told myself I wasn't going to be in this position again. And yet here I am with a combined household income of well over $100,000. I'll just flat out tell you, from my 9-to-5 job alone, this is excluding any side hustles, and I have like 3, I make about $72,000 a year now, and I only have $10 to my name. We're cooked, chat. We're cooked.
I have a few questions for her. How much are her bills? How much debt is she still holding on to? How much student loans does she have? I have a lot of questions for her. You only have a few dollars in your account and you spend a lot on like bills or paying back loans, then I understand. Or it may be that you just have a spending problem. It just depends on how her life is set up right now and her steps to improving her life.
You guys, can we just talk about how sad it is to live in this time right now? This economy is absolute trash, okay? People are working 9-to-5s Monday through Friday, and you know, there's guys in the plants that are working all day and all night, and everyone is still living paycheck to paycheck. Whether you're up here on the pay grade scale or down here on the pay grade scale, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Because no one can afford to live in this time. No one can afford to live in this economy. And that is a sad, sad thing to think about whenever you think 4 years ago, gas was literally $1.99. Whereas gas now is like $4 or more if you're in other states, not in Louisiana. You know, groceries are absolutely ridiculous. For 2 people and a baby, groceries are like $400 or $500. And that's not even for the month. So,
Guys, working in this economy is such a fucking joke, and let me tell you why. So within the last week, I've applied to about 15 different jobs, right? I got a response back from 2 of them. 2 emails. 2 emails in which consisted of them saying that they were not interested in me, and one of them said they didn't think I was suitable for the job. First of all, how are you going to say that you're hiring online for 5 different positions at your job? The 2 that responded to me had 4 to 5 positions open. How are you going to say that you're hiring, but you're not going to hire people? Second of all, this goes with what I just said. You don't think that I'm qualified to stock shelves for 10 hours at a Walmart or a Sam's Club? You don't think I'm qualified to stock shelves? Girlie, I currently work in construction 10 hours, 5 days a week. What do you mean I don't qualify? What is happening?
Put a finger down if you quit your job in September and you've been jobless ever since. You've been going to jobs, getting interviews after interviews. They telling you hired, but you never start. And then you finally get this green job and it just seems so perfect. And you do your onboarding process and they tell you that orientation is April 16th. And then 2 days prior to orientation, they text your phone saying they taking back their job offer. So you've been calling them for 2 days straight, trying to figure out why they're taking back their job offer. And your birthday on the way. Like, what? The economy is so fucked. My birthday is in a couple of weeks and I don't even have a job. I don't even have a car. Like, this is crazy. But I will say I'm proud of myself for having great money management skills, because if it wasn't for that, baby, I would have been a bum. I would have been a fucking bum. But good, thanks to me, I'm not a fucking bum. I'm irritated. That's why you don't put all your hope in no jobs, because they do not be fucking with you. Learn how to hustle, friend. Learn how to hustle, twin.
As I'm growing older, I'm just seeing like all these jobs I work at like don't really mean much. Like, it just helps pay my bills and helps me like stay afloat and pays for the roof on my head, but it's like, what else does it give? And I think that's what a lot of people are realizing is like, you get like 25 or 30 bucks an hour, if not more, maybe even 100 grand, but it's like, shit, what can I get with it when everything is so expensive these days? Houses are 500 grand and they're shitty. In some areas maybe 300 grand, and depending on the area, but it's like, is it really worth it for some house? You're paying so much for just like to live or like own something, and like all these taxes and insurance and bills. It's just like, holy shit, what am I even working for? And that's why I'm just seeing like a lot of homeless people like that just give up. Like, it's crazy.
I think we are headed into a massive depression and economic collapse, and it didn't start with the Trump administration, but it's certainly going to be exacerbated by it. Our economy right now is just structured as a massive siphon that's just taking money directly to the capitalist class without a lot of the protections that like Keynesian economics are supposed to have built into them. We have more and more people with productive capabilities, but technology has made it so that you need less and less people for actual work. So employers just dangle what few real jobs currently exist, and everyone else is left to fight over scraps in like the gig economy. People are also retiring later, which makes it impossible to move up the ladder of your career, because the next logical step is already occupied by a 50-60-year-old who refuses to step down, in part because we have made it so unstable for them to do so. Your real wages have stagnated while your necessities cost more and more, which decreases the power of organized labor. And when you look at like the 1880s, where we saw a pattern like this before, what this causes is a massive underconsumption crisis. People don't make enough to buy the things that they're making. This is especially problematic for us in particular because America is a consumer economy. We're the consumer economy in the world. Other countries that have underconsumption crises ship their goods here. The corporate class has arranged our society to where people are trying to cobble together a living from disparate sources of income and are constantly being preyed upon by scammers, because deregulation now means that people who want to get rich quickly are profiting from other people who want to get rich quickly who are just a little bit dumber than them. Trump's isolationism and austerity is also not going to help the situation, because there is no amount of tariffs that you can apply that will make the American workforce more competitive than child labor for 10 cents an hour in Bangladesh. And in a time where we have an unemployment crisis turning loose tens of thousands of federal employees upon the workforce is only going to make the situation worse, not better. The government is supposed to provide jobs, not take them away. These are the exact conditions that lead to things like the Great Depression. And unlike the last time, I think the corporate capture of our political system is so complete that you won't see an FDR type left-wing economic populist strongman take control in order to save American capitalism. In the 1940s, we were able to push back the deadline of the inevitable choice, socialism or barbarism, but the critical moment is here. That choice we have to make now.
Hey y'all, so this response to a video I made asking the question, are we in a job crisis? Thank you for your response. This reminds me of 2008 when the Great Recession was just getting started. That's very true, but unfortunately I think it's going to be way worse because we're dealing with tariffs, a lot of economic instability, hundreds of thousands of government employees have been laid off, other employees are being laid off, there are jobs being posted, but is anyone hiring? And then not to mention the potential cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and then imagine if they make cuts to unemployment. So you have all these people being laid off. How are they supposed to survive, especially if no one's hiring?
And here we are again. Me bitching about how fucked up America is being ass. But apparently it's not just America anymore. It's just economy in general because people just... greed. I'm out here making $12 an hour, looking for something that pays a bit more, preferably where I can work part-time and work from home so I can try to have a work-life balance so I can work on my comics and stuff. That's harder than I thought it would be. Because it comes to the point where one of my interview questions would be, after doing the full exchange, is, yeah, okay, but how much would an hour of my work earn me? Because if you're saying it's less than a pack of eggs and some milk, we're going to have a problem. I'm 40 years old now, okay, and, like, things just keep getting more and more expensive. Yeah, duh, that's kind of how the economy works, but unfortunately it has tripled in just since this COVID shit started, okay? Hell, I wouldn't even say since COVID. I've watched things go up 200-300% just since February. And is the pay going up to match that? No! Instead, you have a lot of businesses trying to force a recession so they don't have to pay you guys $15+ an hour. Then you got jobs you're like, oh, you gotta have 3 to 7 years of requirement for this and that. Yeah, no. Nobody's working for your pay at that low of a level, okay? Not with that level of requirement, because if I had that many years of experience, I'd be asking for more pay right now, too. Nobody wants to train anymore. Even the low-end jobs don't really train. They just kind of give you 2 to 4 hours actual work training, if that, and they just leave you, get thrown to the wolves, and you just kind of figure out the shit on yourself if you're intelligent enough. Or you run away kicking and screaming and find a better job. I had been living off of credit card debt since February, and I've got things reconsolidated and everything like that, and it's thanks to the help and generosity of other people that I'm able to deal with the fact that I'm getting evicted here soon for noise complaints of my roommate and whatnot. But I got another setup coming up here soon. It's not too bad. It's affordable. The economy is just so crap. I just want to live. I just want to survive and do the things I've wanted to do with my life, okay? I'm single, I don't have any damn pets anymore, okay? So you'd figure that would be plenty of freedom. No. Everybody wants a piece of the paycheck, and it just leaves me exhausted knowing that I would have to go back to working a full-time job at the rate I'm making just to survive. And I'm not even living alone. The economy's broken. And wouldn't you figure the day I'm getting evicted, I end up getting a nice nastygram call from FAMS on behalf of Navient regarding my student loans that are private, which I only recall ever filling out one small private one, but they told me I have $50,000 in private, and I'm like, that's fraud, bro. That's what ITT got shut down for. So life is grand. Yay!
Bro, there is no work-life balance in this economy. If you want to work on your comics, get a chill job that allows you to just work on your own stuff. But there is no work-life balance, especially in this economy. If you don't have skills, you have to work full-time. Outside of work and on the weekends, work very hard on your comics. But dude, you have to work full-time. That is just what it is. And I get that you don't want to work. I get that you don't want to work full-time. But yeah, you have bills, you have a lot of responsibilities on your head, you have a lot of things to pay for, and yeah, so you got to work full-time, man.
Okay, mini car rant while I'm on my break right quick. Can anybody please tell me why the fuck the cities are charging us to throw our trash away? Because where the fuck am I supposed to put the trash if I don't fucking throw it away? Being charged $35 extra a month just to put my trash in the fucking dumpster is insane. It's quite frankly diabolical. And then on top of that, my apartment complex specifically charges $10 extra for trash valet that me personally does not use. I do not use trash valet. So why the fuck I gotta pay for that? And then, hold on, then we have to pay $20 extra for a package fee. I have not gotten one single package since I moved into these apartments in November. Why the fuck I gotta pay for a package fee? And then I asked them, like, oh, are these prices negotiable? Because, like, I don't really use a lot of this stuff that y'all are charging me for. They was just like, no, that's just what it is. It just comes like that. Da, 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 da. Like, what the fuck you mean it come like that? Like, what? If I slap the shit out you, is my hand gonna come across your face? Like, what the fuck? Bro, this shit is so fucking comical. The economy we live in today is comical as fuck. Like, every time I think about it, it's like all I could do is laugh, because I'm starting to think that we not really just broke for real. The system broke. That's who broke. The system broke. We not really broke for real. The system just running our pockets for nothing. Because to charge me to throw away my fucking trash, fix it. Fix it, please.
Okay, y'all, I'm kind of shook right now because my childhood best friend, like, that I barely fucking talk to right now, she's just like, oh, like, you should keep applying to jobs. And it's like, girl, I've been applying to so many fucking jobs right now. And it's like, that's not about it. Like, the economy is so fucking broken right now. Nobody's getting jobs. Nobody can barely fucking live right now. Like, bro, I need a car, and she's gonna get a car, and she only has a permit. She doesn't even have a license, y'all. Not even a license. And it's just like, oh, I'm getting a car this summer. Oh, I'm gonna find a job. Like, girl, nobody can find a job right now. Like, I'm literally... Oh, you said we will talk. You know what? Bullshit. I'm, like, getting so fucking frustrated because I don't know what Delulu world she's living in, but it's like...
It's like, you gotta stop.
It's like, none of us can afford anything right now. And she's like, oh, I mean, she's lucky because her mom's got money, but we're not even gonna talk about that. But it's like, bro, like, my dad won't even let me get a car, and you know what? I don't even want one right now because they are so expensive, but they're always gonna be fucking expensive, and I don't even have a job right now. I'm jobless, and I'm literally fucking broke right now. So you know what? Life kind of sucks right now, but you know what? At least I'm not Delulu and be like, oh, I'm gonna get a job. Oh, you should be more positive. Oh, I have faith in you. Like, she's being kind of fucking Delulu and so unrealistic, and it's kind of driving me fucking insane. Because it's like, bro, nobody can find a job right now. It's like, ugh. And then she's like, oh, I'm gonna come visit you in Alfred, 4 hours away from our house, when she doesn't even have a damn fucking license. And then she's like, oh, by the way, nobody lets me drive their damn fucking cars. Like, no shit, because you don't have a license. It's not your car. Like, bro, whatever. Anyway, I'm done fucking ranting about this shit because she's crazy, she's Delulu, and she doesn't even text me. And it's like, girl, I don't even know her friends. I don't know, but at least I'm not being fake about this economy. Like, I'm living in this world. We all are, and it's all fucking Trump's fault. So, yeah, that's my rant. Bye.
No, it is not just Trump's fault. The economy was like this under Biden as well. Come on now. It literally was the same. And the only thing that made it worse was the tariffs. It is not just one person's fault. There are a few reasons why the economy is like this. Governmental regulations, number one. Number two, corporations and their corporate greed. Number three, a lack of jobs and good paying jobs. And a myriad of other reasons. It is not just one person's fault. There are various factors that affect why we're in the state that we're in. And it has been happening for years.
So, the rules changed and no one told us. If you're feeling behind in life, I need you to hear this. You're not. So last night I was cooking dinner and listening to one of Mel Robbins' podcasts, and the topic hit so hard. The blueprint that society has taught us being you go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you get a house, all before the age of 30 was built for a society that doesn't exist anymore. Life expectancy has increased by decades. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Career paths are not linear. And people are reinventing themselves at ages 40, 50, 60, and up. So if your timeline looks different, it's not wrong. It's just real. It's not 1969 anymore. You haven't failed. The world just changed. You can take away one thing from this video is to try and take off the pressure from yourself just a little bit.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.